Okay, let's do some homework together. So number 39 gives us the functions f of x is equal to 9 minus x squared, and it gives us the function g of x is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. And it asks us to find the following functions. It asks us to find first f plus g of x. Well, that's just going to be f of x plus g of x, which is going to be the function. Let me go ahead and make this even a little thinner. 9 minus x squared plus x squared minus 2x minus 3. So when you add those together, I think it's clear that those are going to cancel out. You're going to get negative 2x, and then this and this are going to give you plus 6, right? B is f of x, f minus g of x. So that's just going to be, let's see, that's going to be f of x minus g of x. So it's going to be the whole function f minus the whole function g. So it's this thing minus this thing. So in this case, the negative distributes to everyone. So you get negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. But we still have 9 minus x squared right here. So these give you negative 2x squared. This gives you plus 2x. And 9, 10, 11, 12 gives you plus 12. So that would be a function, right? But let's go up here with this part A. I forgot to find its domain. I think it's clear that its domain is all reals because you do not have stuff over 0 and you do not have square root of a negative. So those are the two things that you worry about when you're thinking about domain. So neither of those is going to cause a problem here. Or in this second one, I think domain is also all reals, negative infinity to infinity and beyond. So C is f times g of x, which is just f of x times g of x. So I take the whole function f, multiply it by the whole function g. It's this thing times this thing. So how do you take one polynomial by another? You just take this whole thing and hit it times this, this, and this. So you get 9 minus x squared hits the first one, x squared. Well, actually, probably an easier way to think of it is that every term on the left hits every term on the right. So 9 is going to distribute to every term and give me 9x squared minus 18x minus 27. And then x squared, negative x squared, is going to distribute to everybody and give me negative x to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 3x squared. And now you have a function that you can simplify. This is the highest power. The next highest power would be this one. But then we have this and this, which give me 9, 10, 11, 12x squareds. I have a singular minus 18x and then minus 27. I think it's pretty clear that the domain of this thing is also negative infinity to infinity. D. So D is f of x divided by g of x. So it's going to be the whole function f, which again, in this case, we said was 9 minus x squared, divided by the whole function g, which is x squared minus 2x minus 3. So now, usually what we do is factor the entire top and bottom, but before we do that, I'm going to rewrite the top as x squared minus 9, but if I switch the order, if there's subtraction, I have to pop out a negative. Right? And so now I can just factor the entire top. It's going to be negative x minus 3x plus 3 because it's a difference of two perfect squares. Don't forget a squared minus b squared is always a minus b, a plus b. That's the difference of two perfect squares in equality. Super, super importante. That's Spanish for importante. And then on the bottom, that's going to factor into an x and an x. We're going to be negative 3 and a plus 1. Why is that great? Because these two cancel out. And since I see both of those, that means that there's a whole at x is equal to 3. So x cannot be equal to 3, but when it simplifies, you get negative x plus 3 over x plus 1. So we already know x can't be 3, but here we can just set the denominator equal to 0, and we get that x can also not be negative 1. So if you're not allowed to be negative 1, and you're not allowed to be 3, you can be anything inside of it. That means your domain is negative infinity up to negative 1, from negative 1 to 3, and then from 3 to infinity. Okay, so that is every part of that one. That one was number 39. Let's now do 44. So I'm going to get me a new page. Let's do number 44. So when I look at 44 in the textbook, it says that, I don't know why I chose 44. It's f of x is equal to 2x plus 4, and g of x is equal to x squared minus 2. It wants us to find these and the domain. So it wants us to find f of g of x, and it wants me to find g of f, and then find their domain. Let's do that now. So f of g means first find g and plug that answer into f, but g, it tells me over there, is x squared minus 2. I plug that into the function f, but the function f is 2 times whatever you give me plus 4, and if you give me x squared minus 2, I'm just going to plug it in here. So now we distribute and get 2x squared minus 4. Don't forget there's a plus 4, so those cancel out. And the new function is just 2x squared. Sorry, there's a video playing next door. Hopefully that's not too annoying. So now I've got g of f. And g of f means first we do f and then plug it into the function g. So f in this case is 2x plus 4. And what does g do to things? It squares them and subtracts 2. So if you give me 2x squared plus 4, I'm going to simply plug that in here and then square it. But be careful, this does not mean that you just square both of those. What it means to square something is to multiply it by itself. So watch out for that common mistake. You do not distribute an exponent. You must actually do the thing and square it. So this, when you FOIL out this bad boy, you're going to get, 4x squared, and then you're going to get plus 8x, and then plus 16. So it's going to be 4x squared plus 16x plus 14, and it should be clear that the domain of that boy is negative infinity to infinity. The first one, it should be pretty clear that its domain is also negative infinity to infinity, because what do we worry about with domain? We worry about stuff over 0, which is not a problem, or the square root of a negative, neither of which are a problem for either of those functions. So that was 44, and now we do 46.